So hello everyone and welcome to Magic Month of May. I'd be really grateful to those of you listening live if you could use the chat box and let me know that you can hear and see and that the technology is working okay. So I'll just wait, type that in. Amazing. Hi, Thori. Nice to see you. And hi, everyone. Hello from Iceland. And so lovely to see those of you that I know that are listening live, and welcome to those of you that I do not know. For those of you that have not met me, Magic Month is a webinar energy forecast that gives you an energetic and astrological overview of the month ahead so that you can make the most of the month and use it to bring you into greater alignment with your path, your soul purpose, and make the energies of the month work for you. I said in the advertising for this month that I would do some channeled guidance. No sound or movement, Ali. It seems everybody else can hear, so maybe refresh your browser. I said I'd do some channeled guidance because it's a really, really significant month. So if at any point you have you want channeled guidance, do type it into the chat box just throughout the show, and I'll try and answer it ad hoc as and when I can. For those of you that haven't met me, my name is Katie and I'm from Starlight Meditation, which does all sorts of ceremonies, courses and spiritual travel that are about empowerment and coming into energetic empowerment and path sovereignty. And so I hope everybody can hear and see now. Let's begin with a very short meditation just to bring you into presence. So when you're ready, closing your eyes, feeling the muscles around your eyes relaxing as you breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Really allowing yourself as you are in this moment, whether you're having a good or a bad day, just to arrive, to let go of the day you've had so far, to open your beautiful heart to the full moon that we have tonight. To soften into the moment that is always perfect. Allowing any emotions to be with you, to be part of this webinar. Inviting your whole self here now, so that your whole self can hear about the month ahead. I'm trusting if you're listening to this webinar, you're listening because it's right for you. It's where you need to be. As you feel a column of light from the center of the universe pouring down all around you, into all of your energy field, into every cell in your body, and traveling down into the heart of the earth, and experiencing this light bouncing off the heart of Mother Earth, becoming a rainbow and traveling back up through you as a rainbow column of light, as all of the different colors of the earth up into the heart of Source. And as you breathe out, let yourself be held by the love from above and the love from below. Let the parts of you that need to be comforted be comforted. The parts of you that need to be illuminated be illuminated. The parts of you that need to be quiet, allow them to be soothed by this light. Really allowing your focus to come to your out-breath. Allowing yourself to breathe the journey you've had in April out. So that you can simply be here, be whole. And as you choose to be here and be whole, let the weight of your body relax into the chair that you're sitting in. Really giving your physical weight to the earth, so that your beingness is grounded. As you breathe in love, and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love. And breathe out gratitude. Opening your heart to this webinar. Asking, why am I here? Why am I listening? Letting your heart answer you in words, in pictures, in feelings, in knowing. And as your heart answers you, smile in to your intention so that it can arrive. Smile into the earth so that she can hold you. Smile into the full moon so that she can magnetically align you. And smile into Source. so the light can bless you. And smile to those that you are sharing this webinar with, now and in the future. Welcoming your tribe, welcoming the circle. Of this webinar. And noticing how you feel. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. And when you are ready, open your eyes and come into the room. And so I would love to hear how any of you are feeling, or if you had interesting insights from the opening meditation. Those of you that are regular to Magic Month will know that I really love my webinars to be co-creative. So please, at any point, share your own guidance, your own insights, share, and especially ask your questions so that the guides can answer as we roll. I liked that opening meditation. It was very spacious. It's very, like a breath, because the energy in April was quite intense, and the energy in May is quite intense. Great to receive reassurance. I think that's a really good insight into May, because it does feel like my guides have been reassuring me about everything that is going on. Thank you for that, Helen. And Claire, you love the rainbow. I'm so pleased. Yeah, it's nice to connect to the different colours of light that Gaia expresses. And so let's begin with a little bit of an overview of the month of... Oh, you just took your first breath of the month, Emma. Yeah, no, I think I did too. It's been a very full month for me as well. But then I was doing a big, intense alchemy journey. So it's not surprising. And thank you, Elsa. Yeah, feeling chilled now and being here for courage is a great intention. And Emma, I'd like to say that, you know, when all of this crazy energy is going on, it's really good. And I'm saying this to myself as much as to you, but it's really good to remember our breath and how easily our breath and just allowing ourselves to become present can make things settle. You know, we have so much more power than we like to let ourselves believe. So let's talk about May. So April was intense. I think a lot of you will agree. And May's also looking a bit intense. Oh, I'm so pleased you're feeling the beauty of the earth and the sky, Kath. That's beautiful. Yeah, no, May. I'm carrying on with the forecast. May is looking to be quite intense as well. We are in a time of deep cycle change and deep astrological change. And what my guide said when I tuned in about Magic Month was, May is like an ascension portal month. There's all of these wheels of change happening, and it's a month that we're not energetically going to come back from. That's why it's a portal. It's an entrance into a new vibration and a coming back from... And it's an entrance into a new vibration that really, if you work with the energies, you're not going to come back from in a good way. They said it's a really amazing month because it's an ascension month to be bringing all of that awakened consciousness that you've woken up in yourselves over the last few years through your own personal awakening and healing journeys, all of that higher self-consciousness down into the 3D. And I don't even want to use the word 3D because it's not 3D anymore, but down into your physical reality, into the physicality of your path. What's really happening is the pressure cooker of what's going on on the planet right now is becoming hotter. And things really need to show up now. We need to show up not just in our meditation spaces, but in our lives and our paths and our relationships as our awakened selves, as our higher selves, as our warrior selves. And warrior is the word for May. There's also a real sense, like the guide said, of winds of change, wheels of change, purging of lots of the old Piscean ways, especially politically. And so it's a really, really important time and month to give yourself space and to make sure that you're in your center and that you're breathing properly and that you're connecting to your divine purpose, which I'm going to go on to that a bit more. And so the first thing that happened actually happened today. So we've got this amazing full moon. It's really an ascension moon, and it's kind of it's a completion of April, and it's opening the gates of May. And also yesterday, Juno moved into Libra. She changed signs. She's been in Pisces for a few months, and she represents, she's the goddess of marriage. She's a protector of marriage. And so she represents marriage. But what my guides say is this is not so much, especially with what she's aligned with, this is not so much to do with marriage to another human being. This is about marriage within yourself, marriage to your path, marriage to your purpose. It's about self-love. And of course, it's coming just before Beltane on the 1st of May, which is the pagan festival that is really about sexuality and fertility. It's the masculine and the feminine marrying each other. So it's an amazing time for manifestation and growth and renewal and celebration, and really connecting in to that marriage within yourself is going to be the difference. If you take the time now while Juno's moving into Libra, which is very much about balance, and then Beltane, which is about orgasmic balance and a celebration of unity. If you can really connect to that marriage within yourself, and especially connect in with the male, the female, and the priesty energies within yourself over these first few days, you're going to find the energies that come later in May a lot easier to integrate and to process. And really, when we talk about marriage within ourselves, it's about forgiveness. The root word of forgiveness is to marry. It's about wholeness. It's about embracing your whole self and letting the light and the shadow marry, and the parts you're judging marry the parts that don't judge you and love you and support you, and just allow all of the parts of you that are feeling separate and rejected to come together. And it's also about marrying your dreams, using all of that fertility energy of Beltane to really connect in to your dreams, to your fire. Beltane is a fire festival, and our dreams are the human version of fire. They're the things that make our eyes light up. And so it's an amazing start to the month for manifesting. And it's actually, this month is actually really important that you manifest, because the key to this month is about understanding what your purpose is. And the way you do that is by visioning and manifesting. And like Claire says, balance the yin and the yang, the male and the female. It is about really bringing yourself into wholeness, because come the middle of the month, things get quite energetically epic. So what happens is we've got one of the most potent new moons of the year, which is a new moon on the 15th of May. And there's several reasons that I'm calling it potent. It's potent because the most important thing is that on the same day as the new moon, Uranus, which is really the planet of awakening and rebellion and change, moves into Taurus. And so because Uranus is a planet that's far away, it has very long cycles. It's been in Aries for 8 years. So if you listen to Magic Month before, we've got another one of those big shit. If you listen to Magic Month in April with Chiron moving, we've got another one of those end of a 7-8 year cycle, end of the first cycle of Aquarius, actually, of the golden age of Aquarius. We've got that move from Uranus now, and Uranus moving into Taurus is quite a big deal, because Taurus is a very fixed, Uranus is a very free-spirited, flowing, rebellious, unfixed energy. And Taurus is a very, very grounded energy that is all about the material and food and art and sensuality and abundance and your path on the ground. And so Uranus moving into Taurus brings a lot of shake-up energy and a lot of revolution in what seems like what we perceive as stable. So in the 3D, as we might call it. The last time that Uranus was in Taurus, we had the Second World War. And whilst I am really hoping this time around there isn't a war, you have to look at the big picture of all of the socialism and things that came out of the Second World War. And so, it totally turned the whole system on its head. And that's happening on the 15th of May. It's up until 2026. So it moves in on the 15th of May. And, one of the things that I realized as I was tuning into Magic Month is that because Uranus has been in Aries really represents the beginning. It's the beginning of the astrological chart. So it represents the beginning. And really what Uranus did was do the first stage of awakening, which was wake us all up spiritually, wake us all up in our third eyes and our crowns and our higher energy fields. Now that Uranus is moving into Taurus, that's what the guides mean about bringing the higher self energy down. It's like we're no longer matching who we are energetically with our lives, and it's time to bring all of this energy down into the 3D. And there's going to be shake-ups. There's a lot of astrological predictions about what's going to happen financially and politically and collective and in terms of collective consciousness because of this move from Uranus, because it's the rebellion. So it's the planet that makes you have a midlife crisis, whatever age you are. It's like okay, I need to look at what's wrong in my life and what's stuck in my life. And when it's in Taurus, it's all those things that feel solid that start to earthquake, you know. But that's good, because really our abundance and our physical life and those changes happening in our physical reality, that is the ascension process. That is our path. That is the change. Your abundance is your path. And so, and you know, when Uranus was in Aries, the shadow of what it brought up was the ego. The ego, you know, we went into the age of the selfie. And so now the wounded healer, who's Chiron, who changed sign last month, is going to take all of those ego wounds and start dealing with them. And Uranus is now going to bring up all of those patriarchal blocks. And when I'm tuning in, I am feeling this massive purging of the Piscean masculine shadow beginning to happen in May, and within ourselves, of the overthinking, of the overpushing, of the suppressing of the feminine. All of that stuff is going to start to come up and purge. And what there is also happening on the 15th of May is that the new moon is conjunct with Algol, which is a star that's got a bit of a bad reputation in astrology. It's a star that represents lots of things like riot and violence and electrocution and decapitation. But those, my guides say, those are the 3D ways of looking at that. And so the higher consciousness way of looking at something like decapitation is, this is an opportunity to come out of your heads and come into your hearts. The 5D way of looking at electrocution is your path is going to be activated. You know, yes, there might be shakeups in the collective consciousness over this next Uranus cycle. But for those of you that are already here and already awake and already connecting to your self-love and your dreams and learning to manifest, this energy can be used as an inner revolution. It's not about the outer. It only happens on the outer when we're asleep. We can bring it in to ourselves and into our lives, and you know, really take our egos on a healing journey. And the thing about the fixed stars around this new moon, all of them actually, is they can be quite shaking uppy on the collective consciousness, but they are deeply powerful for anybody that is coming from their truth, their integrity, that is focusing on their purpose, that is manifesting and connecting to their love and their philosophy and their truth. And so it's a real it's a real amazing time at the start of this month to get clear on who you are and what your purpose is and what your dreams are, because if you do, all of this energy around the new moon is going to help burst you into that. It's going to help purge what is not of service. The wheels of change are going to turn into what you're holding vibrationally at that time. And like Claire says, in a way, I don't like, so I see what you're saying, Claire. She's saying a lot of people are going to get left behind, but to say that is not our job, to try and save everyone. And yes, definitely it is this month is about you working on yourself and connecting to yourself and trusting that people will not get left behind, but the warriors and the way showers and the leaders of the revolution are going through it first. And so this is like a second awakening month where suddenly it's like, okay, I've got to bring all of this awakening I've already had up, down into the 3D, so I can inspire that awakening in those around, so that I can be the eye of the storm. It's definitely a month for the indigos to really activate and wake up and come in to their power. And there's some other dates that might, talking of indigos, the next day, so straight after the new moon on May 16th, Mars, the warrior, enters Aquarius. And so my guides are just like, if you want a bigger sign about the warrior journey into the age of Aquarius, this is it. This is the moon and the awakening and the moment, one of many, but the moment for it. And again, it's about connecting all the time to your purpose, to your decision. The way the warrior comes into integrity is by coming from the heart. That's when the warrior energy starts to ride the chariots of love. That's when the warrior energy comes into service, and the shields get replaced, the shields and the armor get replaced by the shining of light. And so it's a real time to come into yourself. Another important date is the 13th of May, because Mercury enters Taurus then. And so set your intention again, reconnect to those Beltane dreams, to those Juno energies at the start of the month. The other interesting, amazing thing about Juno is she is the goddess who money was named after. Moneta is the name of Juno, one of her temples. And so money comes from her, and to have her at the start of this month, just before it, coming into balance, coming into alignment, and then to have this massive shake-up of Uranus moving into Taurus, which is all about money and abundance and security. It's a real message from the sky that is like, you've got to come into your feminine. You've got to come into your feminine abundance, your feminine space, your feminine magnetism. You've got to let the feminine become the balancer for the do, action way. Because if enough of us do that, there won't be war. You know, that's the masculine way of going. That's the masculine shadow way, and the Piscean shadow way of going through things like Uranus moving into Taurus. Whereas if we can all come into balance and harmony within ourselves, then we find new ways of ascending through and transcending through these energies. So the middle of the month is definitely going to feel deeply transformative. If you can be in ceremony, if you can be in ceremony with yourself or with others, it's going to be very powerful if you can work with those energies as opposed to letting them rule you. And actually towards the end of the month, we have another full moon, which is a bit like this one. It's about spiritual awakening. It's about integrating those wake-ups and those dreams that were seeded in Beltane, and now at the start of the month, taken through the mill in the middle of the month, and then delivered to you at the end of the month. So it's a really quite a potent middle of the month, but in an exciting way. And honestly, my guides have spoken so much about the alignment and the importance of what's going on, and about owning it and coming into your power with it, as opposed to letting these planets rock you. One of the things they're saying to me now is, you're as big as these planets. You know, you're bigger. They don't have to rock you. You can work with them. They're in service to the ascension of the earth and the ascension of your own paths as guardians of the earth. And so if any of you have any questions about that and about that, what I've just said, please do type the questions in now, or if you have questions about things that have been going on personally for you or anything you don't understand yet, please do type them in. Thank you. So It's going to be fun in Ibiza. Yeah, I have to say, the Starlights Ibiza journey has been divinely timed, and it covers the 15th of May. I didn't plan it around the moon. I didn't know anything about this then. And literally every single day, like there's no astrology in the month, and then the 9 days we're there, it's just like bang, 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 bang. I'm really happy it's live, and I'd much rather be in ceremony and celebrating and doing it in the beauty of Ibiza than anywhere else. So I'm very happy about that. Elsa, are you able to advise what's happening from today until the new moon? Let me see what my guides have to say about that. I'm going to, you know what, I was going to talk about Ibiza later, but since Thori and Elsa brought it up, I'm going to bring it up now. We have space on our Atlantis Rising journey. The universe is making sure that the right people come. And so if you're like, oh, I want to awaken my warrior in a really beautiful, joyful way on a really amazing place, and work with these energies in a tribe and be of service while these changes are happening, then please come and join us. If you're called, you're going to be there, and it will be amazing. But let's see. So what's happening today until the new moon? So the first word that's coming to me is integration. Integration of, there's been a lot of core wound healing happening in April because you were working with 2 different core wounds, and the switch over from them, because Chiron moves signs and he's the wounded healer, the switch over from them has made it quite a dizzying month, quite an emotional month, and a month full of breakthroughs. And so what you thought your path was might actually be different now you've done this healing. So really it's about connecting to, okay, what is my purpose? What does it actually mean to open my heart? What does it actually mean to follow the joy? What does it mean to marry myself? What does it mean to be in balance? All of these things, because those of you that are asking these questions, you're going to be the eye when the energy storm comes, and you'll be able to be the eye because you've asked those questions. So it's about integrating, it's about asking those questions, it's about allowing the whole of your awakening journey since 2010 to arrive. And my guides are saying space, give it breath, give it listening time, and keep it simple. It's about the heart. That's what they're saying. And Claire's saying, I'm being told to mention that this is also like a test for those who are awakening, to see how much we've really understood and learned, to see how we connect as a community. I totally agree with you. It's like the universe is going, I'll show up if you show up, you know, and especially because this, you know, Chiron moves back to Pisces to complete the healing. So it is like a little interval of what the next a little prelude to the next 8 years. And it's not a, you know, we'll go into the full force of it in 2019, but 2018 is really about like dancing between the old cycle and the new cycle. And the summer is about tuning into the new cycle, seeing how ready you are, seeing if there's stuff you've still got to work on, seeing if your warrior has really, really, really arrived. Yeah, no, the universe does not spoon feed you. I don't think that is my quote, actually. I think that's Tatanka's quote. She's an amazing channel. And she was like, you know, universe isn't going to do it for you. You've got to do it for yourselves, you know? So I unfortunately, me and my guides can't take credit for that one. But I agree with it wholeheartedly. So yeah. It's about, and one of the themes is about going from being 1 foot in, 1 foot out to 2 feet in, and whatever that means for you, whether it's not about being reckless, but it's about walking your talk and being your truth. And it's very easy to talk about love and light, but are we living it? It's very easy to talk about empowerment, but are we living it? It's about expanding your truth and getting clear on what your unique philosophy is that you're here to bring to the world, and committing to it more fully. And doing that is just going to mean those energies, things like the decapitation energy, is just going to help you transcend your ego. And actually the ego's got a huge journey coming, which I'll come on to. So in fact, I'm going to come on to that now. So as I was tuning into Magic Month of May, what I really realized was that April and May and this summer is really the eruption, the beginning of the age of the indigos, of the indigo warriors, of the revolution that channels were predicting a long time ago for 2000, and for 2012. Now, the one that we all thought of at the time, because we couldn't understand that this higher energetic work needed to happen first, now is when it's going to start happening. That real, like, society changing, the way we're working with the earth changing, all of those physical reality things going into revolution and going into change. And it's the full awakening of the warrior archetype. And I had a really amazing insight about the warrior archetype that took me a long time to get to. So some of you will know that I work a lot, or I'm certainly working a lot at the moment, with the wounds of Atlantis, because I found that doing my path and doing my own shadow work and my own healing work and holding space for a collective conscious and light work around Atlantis, I've just found that so many of our problems are rooted in the Atlantean wounds, are rooted in those Fall of Atlantis wounds. And in that story being held in our collective human consciousness and all of that. And obviously, as you can see from the journey I've just put up, Starlight's got another journey called Atlantis Rising that's happening on this moon. And as a space holder, how I work is I often go through the journey of what people are going to be working on, and what I go through the journey before it happens. And so I've been going through the journey for May, for this May, with the 15th new moon included in it. And going through it, it has been about that 1 foot in, 1 foot out, exploring things like my mistrust in myself and the universe have been coming up. My unworthiness has been coming up. Lots of things have been coming up for me. And so I took them into a amazing workshop on Saturday that I wasn't holding. It was by a lovely woman called Sandra, and it was mainly EFT based. But I knew that this Atlantean stuff needed to be healed, and I took it to the workshop, and it started to come up. And as it was coming up, I realized that the universe had been inviting me to come into a deeper state of trust, and has been for several months. So in order for my path to expand and magic to happen more fully, the universe is asking me to trust more than I've ever trusted before. And that has brought up all my mistrust. And so going into this mistrust, and it wasn't just Atlantis, there were like many layers and many reasons in my consciousness why I couldn't trust myself and the universe. But eventually I got to one of those ancient Atlantean wounds and memories, and I realized that I couldn't forgive the universe. I'd got into this like trauma place, not in a bad way, because I was really held, and so it was just, like I said, it was like this moon can be. It was empowered, but I was aware that part of my consciousness was in this deep trauma place, and was angry and was bitter and was upset at all of the trauma in the world, and was finding it really hard to trust all of this guidance and awakenings, miracle, amazing stuff, because I was basically like, do you know what I've just been through? I don't know how you can ask me to trust after all of these apocalyptic experiences in the Fall of Atlantis and the Piscean Age. And so I realized that I hadn't forgiven, and I set the intention to forgive. And then right at the end of the workshop, the breakthrough came through for me. And it made me burst into tears, because what I was guided was a piece of the history of Atlantis that I'd never had, that I'd never been given. An understanding, a piece of hindsight that I'd never known about. And it was that prior to the fall of Atlantis, there was no warrior archetype. And so as we got more and more powerful and magical, there was no boundary energies. And it's part of what caused the fall, but there was also no guardianship. And what I was told, and it's still moving me to tears, is that the fall of Atlantis and the whole of the Piscean Age, so all of that duality that we as a human collective have been experiencing, was to birth the warrior, was to train the warrior, was for the warrior archetype to discover itself, to experience its shadow. And so the whole of the Piscean Age and the fall of Atlantis was really a womb of duality for this new energy, this new archetype within our consciousness to be born, which is a guardian archetype, which means that we're going to be able to become so much more empowered, because we're going to have boundaries and guardianship over our love and our sacred selves. And so for me, it gave me this massive peace and freedom. And it allowed me to forgive. But why it's relevant to Magic Month is the portal I'm feeling in May is like, finally in May and over the summer is like, actually this warrior is being birthed into our realities now. This warrior that understands how to be a guardian and a protector and move forward is going to hold space for all of those other awakened archetypes. And it's the awakened warrior that we need for these changes on Earth to happen, and to happen in peace. And so really May is about awakening the warrior, awakening the indigo warrior in particular, awakening the revolutionary, awakening the chariot of your love and the warrior of your love. And so it's going to be very, very powerful. Does anybody have any questions about that? I hope I'm making sense. I know all of this stuff can sometimes feel quite epic. But let me know if you have questions, type them in. one of the things that my guides are saying is that because there's so much electric and powerful and shake-up energy, grounding for May is really essential. Inviting the revolution inside you is really, really essential, because ascension happens inside us, and coming into that place of manifesting empowerment and ownership is really, really essential. Understanding that your 3D life, your physical life, your abundance, they are your path. So anything that doesn't feel in alignment with that purpose, with that divine truth, it should be released. It's not of service to you. And you can invite the revolution energies of this month into it. So Laura's saying, I had a strong relationship with my warrior since a young child. More recently, I tried to keep the warrior in check, so as to soften and bring into balance the feminine. I need to learn to be soft, but now the warrior again, softness, the warrior of softness and balance of masculine and feminine. Exactly. So the warrior archetype has been around throughout the whole of the Piscean age, but the warrior is coming out of shadow. And how do we allow the warrior to rise and not be in shadow? How do we awaken that? How do we allow the warrior to be the guardian of our softness and to be soft? How can we let them be the warrioress? You know, it's about exploring that archetype and bringing that archetype into service with our love. So Laura's saying, I thought it was a kind of releasing the warrior, no need to defend anymore. My guides are saying that it's about releasing the shadow of the warrior and awakening the chariot of the warrioress, or the aspect of the warrior that can ride you through change. That the warrior is an energy that travels. It's not just an energy that battles. It's an energy that guards and protects and holds guardianship and boundaries over your path, so that you don't burn out, so that you don't get affected by other people's energies, so that you aren't energetically disempowered. It's an energy that allows, like I said, I think the chariot image is really useful. It's like, it's the energy that is going to ride your path into its next stage, especially when there's a lot of change happening in the physical. And it's also the energy that is able to stay calm, and the energy that's able to know your power. And so it's about exploring that archetype very, very much in all that you do and in all that you experience in May, and seeing and exploring the birthing, the rebirthing, because all our archetypes and aspects of ourselves are rebirthed, but in May there's a rebirthing. And you know, the warrior can also be the hippie putting flowers in a gun barrel. It doesn't have to be what we perceive it to be, but it's the energy of change, the energy of traveling forward, of moving forward, of being the change you want to see in the world, and being a guardian of that, a protector of that, and a chariot of that change. And so because of all of this, there's also quite a lot of energy around this month in May, around finding out a new belief, your new belief systems. Yeah, fights for love, not war, like Elsa says. Or doesn't even fight, but knows that they are more powerful to those that do and try and fight them. It's about energetic empowerment. And I'm glad you're feeling the perceiving of the new way of the warrior. And it's also about finding new beliefs, new belief systems, redefining your purpose. It's probably changing quite a lot at the moment. And what your path was is probably in this moment of expansion, of change, of questioning. There's a lot of energy this month around coming into greater integrity. Whether it's that you just think or heart think before you speak, or whether it's that you really are questioning if what you're doing right now is you riding that chariot, is you in the greatest possible service, and yet also in sovereignty. Because one of the things that I'm discovering about May is that, yes, the warrior is being born, but it's the sovereignty of the warrior that is being born. So the ownership over your path, the communion with your path, the ownership over your connection and your magic and your truth and your light. And it's that oneness with all of your potential that will bring it down, that will help it come down. Another thing that will really, really help with A, you not going into the shadow of the warrior, and B, you not going into too much of the drama energetically, is the priesty energy. And the priesty energy is the unity being energy, so the twin gender of people who are both male and female, but connect, especially because we start this month with Beltane and with Juno. It's about connecting into that energy, really in yourself, the part of you that knows unity, the part of you that you forgot in the age of duality, that was always in unity. And it's a really, really peaceful energy, and it's a really beautiful energy, and it really helps when you embrace those three genders within yourself. It really helps you to bring peace to any battles that you're having between your masculine and your feminine, to stay in an open heart, to stay in a calm space. Yeah, the Crow women, Helen, that, the wise women are awakening. It's all part of the warrior journey, the feminine rising. And I love what Sam says, warrior to me feels like not being afraid to make myself heard, owning my voice and what I feel passionately about. It's also just realizing it is as valid as anyone else's. Yeah, it's about coming into worthiness and sovereignty and fearlessness, because the world needs her witches, her crones, her warriors, her crow women. The planet's reaching that crisis point. It needs this stepping up and this guardianship. We've got to stop letting people poison our water. we've got to, and hopefully do it in a peaceful, empowered, higher warrior way and a higher witch way. But it's about bringing all that we know is truth down into our lives, so that we can be the change, basically. So it's a really, really exciting next cycle and month. And like I said, the priestly energy and connecting to that third gender aspect really helps. Connecting to the deep feminine really helps. And that's what we're going to do in a minute, is connect to the sacred unjudged space. Because one of the things that's happening is in order to become fearless and free, we have to release all of our judgments. And so my guide said to do a womb of the universe meditation to help everybody just let go of all of those resistances and fears. Before we go into that, does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have anything that they want to ask? Thank you all for your wonderful sharings and insights. And, you know, my guides are saying, be excited. This is what we came here for. Even though there's kind of a lot of astrological predictions and energetic predictions going like it's gonna be chaos, it's only chaos if you're not in your power. It's only chaos if you're not bringing that energy into yourself. And we came here to be the eyes in the storm, you know, the people that are awakened first came here to be like, no, it's okay. And so it is about that. I'm also going to, while I'm waiting for you to ask your questions before we go into the womb, there are some, so I've got a couple of spaces left if you want to come and do some, if you're in Brighton and you want to come and do and celebrate Beltane, we've got a rooftop fire and frankincense ceremony, so it's double fire energy. And because I don't normally advertise it on Magic Month, but we've got a couple of spaces left, and it's such an important month that if you're in Brighton and want to come, we'd love to have you join us. It's only a 3-hour ceremony. And you can click the link and it will open up in another tab for you. And then the other thing that I already mentioned about is the Ibiza Atlantis Rising journey, and the journey to it has been a pilgrimage, an inner pilgrimage, and my guide say the journey on it is a ceremonial journey, deeply beautiful and dreamlike and multidimensional and cosmic and amazing pilgrimage of working with the land and the energy temples, and most importantly yourself and your own connection. But all I can say as I get closer to this journey and completing the pilgrimage is that it has given me and is continuing to give me so much. like it's taking me beyond my limitations in such beautiful and profound and real ways. And I know that everybody called to this journey is really going to come away so full of light and empowered and in the magic of the divine conversation. And so if you're called, follow that call, because it's definitely worth it, even though you might have that sense of the resistance to it, because it is a 1 foot in, 1 foot out, going to 2 feet in journey. It's so worth it, because every day that I go deeper with it, I become freer. And that's the best I can say about it. As well, we get to do loads of magic swimming and sweat lodges and all sorts of laughter. It's the most joyful way to heal there is. So those are the two things I wanted to let you know about this month. Does anybody have any questions? If not, we'll go straight in to pull the card of the month while I'm waiting for questions from all of you. My guides are saying the warrior energy is what will make your dreams happen in this reality. Because this reality has been built on so much fear consciousness that you need to ride the warrior, the fearless love. into those dreams happening. And how you ride the warrior is by exploring it and awakening it, and most importantly connecting to the reasons why, the whys behind your dream. What is it that you want to give? What is it that that makes your life feel alive? You know, what is your purpose? And getting clear on that at this point astrologically is really going to be a massive launch. Massive launch. Very exciting. So I pulled a card. And it's emotions. And it's exactly how I'm perceiving this month. Like there's all these swirling emotions. But those that are staying in their heart and opening their heart get that really peaceful, gentle, light space inside. And so that's what this month is about. And my guides are also saying it's full of blessings. So all of the changes, they may feel like changes that you're scared of, or like everything's politically collapsing over the coming years, but they're not. They're making room. The blessings are showering in. So you're all being quiet. Nobody has questions. That's okay. I'm glad you're all in your warrior power. You don't need to ask any questions. But let's there's a few things come through though. So I agree, Elsa. Fearless love. And feeling very excited. Universe has worked its magic with timing, with expected plans falling away in a painful May. I made plan B for my holiday starting 1st of May. Amazing! That's awesome. Walking the Camino, that's awesome. And yes, I feel like the astrology is supporting your pilgrimage. And what you just experienced of things falling away in a painful way, I've been feeling that too. But it feels like things that are not of service or not in alignment are falling away, and we're grieving them so that we can be fully aligned in the month of May for this quite big astrological ascension moment. And Helen, I love the quote, there is no force more powerful than a woman determined to rise. I quite agree. The feminine needs and is in the most phenomenal and courageous ways rising at this time, because that's how everything comes back into balance. And the feminine is also deeply healing, especially the deep feminine. And so whether you are male, female, or priesty, we are going to go into this unjudged womb of the universe space that was guided to help bring you into that I space, I within the storm, I am space within the storm. And so when you're ready, closing your eyes, feeling the muscles around your eyes relaxing. As you breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. And as you let your breath relax you, Become aware of what your body needs to do to become more comfortable. So maybe you need to change position, relax your shoulders. And allow your focus to come to your out-breath. As you open your heart, experiencing your aura spinning. Bringing you into the no time, no space, deep feminine love of the universe. The space between the stars. And even though this space is dark, notice how loving it is. How it is the space of no judgment. A space where you can be unjudged. And just allow. Sometimes when we come into this space, the first thing that happens is all of our self-judgments come up. So just allow any emotions might react to not being judged at all. Or uncertainties or belief systems that are not of service to you. Or worries. To come up. To be there. And you just keep focusing on the quiet. On the stillness of the love that is holding you and all the stars in the sky. It has no and all expectations of you. Notice that you can be softer here. You can let go. Notice how this womb space knows you. And loves all of you, so can invite all of you to be here, even the parts of you that you don't know how to love yet. Now you can relax into the womb space. And this space is magnetic. It will pull out anything that's not of service. It will realign anything that's out of alignment. And you can let go of any destination addiction you're carrying. Any pressures. Just allow yourself to be held. To be loved. To not be alone. And to be alone. And notice that this womb space is holding you. And a golden light inside your heart. That you are this golden light. Being held. By the love that holds the stars and galaxies. Notice how this light is shining out from your heart. And inside this light is all the abundance of your path. All the wisdom of your truth. All the freedom of your joy. All the courage. Of the warrior archetype of you. Inside this love is the chariot and for your dreams. And all you have to do right now is let the light shine into the unjudged space, trusting that the unjudged space will swallow and dissolve any resistance, any fear, any insecurity. Any doubt or inner judgment. The shining of this light is pushing out. You let go. You let go into love, which is that energy of non-judgment that is holding your light and all the light, all the stars and all the suns. And you let go into light, which is the service of your love, the manifestation and illumination of what you have to give. And as you let go and surrender into all this light and all this endless, unjudged love, ask, who am I? Ask, what is my purpose? Ask why. I'm feeling all that love. Holding your body in non-judgment. Filling your inner body with non-judgment. As you experience that enormous golden star. Light of your truth and your heart. Being held inside the non-judgment of the body. So that it is safe to shine. To feel your aura spinning out of the womb of the universe. So that you become aware of your breath. Of your peace. Of your center. And opening your heart to May as Goddess Juno. Blesses you with abundance. Invites you to come into a sacred marriage with yourself and your path and this golden light and all this unjudged love. Choose to ride the ascension waves of May. To spin the wheels of change. In favor of your heart and dreams. Choose to ascend. To awaken. To live. To love. to experience the planets aligning for you. For your path. As you breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. Breathe in love and breathe out gratitude. And when you are ready, opening your eyes and coming into the room. So I would like to thank you all so much. Feels like a really special magic month, and that's because you're all really special. And I know you're going to have a really amazing and powerful month because you're all amazing warriors. So much love to you all. Bye.